We've talked a ton in the past about giving you guys good information, and that's one of our passions here at TA, is just providing you guys tools that you can then apply so that you can become a better shooter. I've never professed to be an expert shooter. I definitely put a lot of rounds down range, and I've learned some things over the years, and I hope that that stuff is helpful to you guys. When we were shooting one of our most recent videos, how to use a shot timer, I noticed something that I was doing in that video. And I was specifically shooting my handgun, and I noticed that at the end of the video I was doing some drills where I was taking one shot but immediately snapping my finger off of the trigger, and I feel like I was cutting myself short with that. And what I mean by that, I'll turn the gun like this, is I would fire my shot and immediately take my finger off the trigger. And the reality is, one of the best skills you can master with your handgun is trigger manipulation. And one of the things that we should be doing whenever we're shooting a drill is a conscious effort to make that last sight picture. I know it sounds corny, and some guys might disagree with me. And you could also make the argument that in that drill, because I was just doing one round draws, just looking for my first initial hit on paper, it's not the end of the world. But what this is going to reinforce, it's a bad habit, just taking my finger off the trigger prematurely. I'm not even talking tactics here. Some people are going to get into the weeds and say, yeah, well, it makes sense. Don't take your finger off the trigger, because you never know if you're going to need a follow-up shot. But the reality is it's a poor habit. And it's something that I noticed in the video and I figured I would talk about. And the way that this is really going to show up when you're shooting is especially when we're getting into multiple rounds fired. And so what I mean by this, and just breaking this down, is when I have the gun out and I press the trigger and the gun recoils, in that recoil impulse, as I'm driving that optic back down on target, I should be prepping the trigger for the next shot. I don't want to be taking my trigger finger like this every time and slapping down into the trigger. It's just sloppy. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of movement when I could have really good fundamentals and just be ready with every single shot with my trigger finger back on the reset. And every single pistol is going to have some sort of a wall, unless it's a high point or some really kind of crappy pistol. But you're going to have a little bit of movement before that trigger would break. And I can show that to you guys. There's that wall, trigger breaks. So as that slide reciprocates, I should be letting off the trigger and coming back on the wall. And it's something that if you watch really slow footage, some 120 frame footage or slowed down 60 frame per second footage, you can see when somebody is executing this properly. The trigger on a handgun, guys, is one of the most important aspects that you can try your best to master. I'm not a master of it. I still make mistakes. One of the awesome things about getting stuff on film is that I can go back and review it. I notice things and I get to talk to you guys about it. So guys, if you have any questions about this or this didn't make any sense to you, let me know down in the comments. I would definitely be willing to dive deep into this topic if that's the case. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. To just above all else, get out, get trained, put some rounds down range, analyze your performance, and then grow from there. See you guys in the next one.